Shalom, shalom. Hey, good morning. Shalom, shalom, Miss Parker. Hey, it's your Ak Dre, your brother Dre, your Ak Sha'al, your brother Sha'al. Coming to you live from home in Alabama. I just want to say good morning, Bukatu, and I love you, and it's good to see you. All right, so I want to do this video. This video right here is on brotherly love, and this one is really close to my heart, because quite frankly, all the Torah is about love, about loving Yahuwah, about loving my brother and my neighbor, so if I don't care what we're doing, if we're not walking in love, and we can't even walk in love toward each other, then what are we doing? So I want to go ahead and highlight this video, brotherly love. All right, I had a sister, an old classmate of mine, that asked a question on one of my previous posts recently, and I told her that I was going to address that when I went live. So I want to go ahead and do that too, but I think I'm going to do that in a different video. So I'll come back and do that, and make sure I do that, and then I'll message you and let you know in that same post that you came on. I'll message you and let you know when I've done it. All right. I don't want to make this video too long. All right. So anyway, brotherly love. This is what I want to talk about. How to deal with conflict. How to deal with conflict amongst the brethren. And okay, let me just go ahead and address the sister I was telling about, because it's kind of all tied in. Because there's a difference between dealing with people that are family, covenant, you're walking with them, and dealing with outsiders. There's a difference. All right. This is what she said. And I told her I'm glad she said that, and I would gladly answer it. She was asking about, she said she was a little confused because I would, talking about reaching people and giving the truth to people and everything. But then on the other hand, talking about not wanting to be around the wicked, and it was about that post I was doing, concerning wickedness. I think it was wicked women in particular, but her question was general. All right, so I told her I would answer that, because there's a difference. All right, Yahuwah commands us not to. He says not to even have fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness. So here's the difference. There's a difference between dealing with people who are in wickedness and who are working wickedness to try to help them and try to show them the way and to give them the truth of Yahuwah and share light with them. There's a difference between that and actually fellowshipping with them as if nothing is wrong. All right, we are not supposed to do that. We're not supposed to be fellowshipping and being making friendships with people who are working wickedness. We're not supposed to do that. All through the scriptures, from the old to the new, it tells us not to do that. A lot of times, people that are, especially in Christianity, you hear it a lot of times about how the Mashiach dealt with publicans and sinners and wicked people, but he wasn't dealing with them to hang out with them and chill. He was dealing with them to bring them into the light. All right, so that's the whole context of dealing with wickedness. It's supposed to be to help people bring them into the light. But there's a difference between dealing with that and then dealing with people people that you're in covenant with. All right, so I just want to share that, and I'll go deeper on it later. But let's go into brotherly love. All right, so first thing I want to do is I want to go. I'm going to be just real, and I'm going to be raw, and I'm just praying, because Abba knows that I'm really crunk about this right here. And first thing I want to say is that I'm going to try to be careful about what I say and not say anything that I have to come back later and apologize for. But if I do say something that offends somebody, feel free to let me know. And if I'm found to be wrong, then I have no problem apologizing. And that's something else we're going to talk about when it comes to brotherly love, which is, are we man enough or woman enough to admit when we're wrong and then make it right? All right. First thing I want to do is I want to go to scripture. I know this probably won't be too, sometimes things like this are not very popular, because a lot of times, I'm just going to be for real with you. We like all the other stuff. We like all the so-called deep stuff, and we like we like that kind of stuff. But when it comes to dealing with stuff like this, a lot of times it don't interest us because it's not drama enough, because we have a society and a culture of people that love drama. If there ain't enough drama for them, they're not interested. Well, we're commanded to love, not a suggestion. It's a commandment. All right, so I'm just going to show you guys, I'm just going to share with you how I am and why I'm like this. First thing I want to do is I want to go to the book of Amos. Put my glasses off. Clean them first. I'm going to be real and raw in this video. I'm going to share me, and I'm going to share me from the standpoint of sharing me from what I see Yahuwah is saying concerning the subject, of brotherly love. And I'm open to be corrected, but when he's saying something, I mean, we need to do our best to walk in it, right? All right, book of Amos. We're gonna start right here. I don't even think we really understand what it truly means to be brothers and to be Akeem and Kudi. When I say brothers, I'm talking about y'all too, because you're sisters, but just understand the context of what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the relationship. So it doesn't matter if it's brother to brother, sister to sister, sister to brother. It's still all the same. So I'm not going to go in and every time I say brother, say sister, just to be politically correct. Just understand I'm talking about all relationships with each other. All right? So this goes for all of us. All right, I'm going to go to the book of Amos. We're going to chapter, let's see, where are we at? I think it's 1. Yeah, we're going to go to chapter 1. Amos chapter 1. Listen to what the Yahuwah sends his prophet to say. We're going to read a few of these. These are all judgments that Yahuwah is pronouncing, all right, on different groups of people. Watch this one. This is Amos 1 and 9. Thus saith Yahuwah, for 3 transgressions of Tyrus, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because they delivered up the whole captivity to Edom, and listen to this, and remembered not the brotherly covenant. But I will send a fire on the wall of Tyrus, which shall devour the palaces thereof. Excuse me, let me read that one more time. Thus saith Yahuwah, for 3 transgressions of Tyrus, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because they delivered up the whole captivity to Edom, and remembered not the brotherly covenant. So they turned away from the covenant of brothers that they had made, and they delivered the captivity up to other people, turning away from the covenant that they made with them. So this brotherhood is a covenant. All right. Let me read a few more. Thus saith Yahuwah, for 3 transgressions of Judah, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because they have despised the law of Yahuwah, and have not kept his commandments, and their lies caused them to err, after the which their fathers have walked. But I will send a fire upon Yehuda, and shall devour the palaces of Jerusalem. Let's keep going. Listen to this. Thus saith Yahuwah, for 3 transgressions of Yasharal, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because they sold the righteous for silver, and the poor for a pair of shoes, that pant after the dust of the earth on the head of the poor, and turn aside the way of the meek. And a man and his father will go in unto the same maid to profane my called out name. All right, so if you listen to a lot of these judgments that Yahuwah is pronouncing, a lot of these things are basically based on the way that we're treating each other. He clearly told Tyrus, because you did not remember the brotherly covenant that you made. That's why this punishment's coming to you. All right, let's go to a few more scriptures. That was Amos 1, 9, and a few others. Let's go to Romans 12 and 10. We're going to start this off with scripture, and then we're going to talk a little bit. We're going to start with scripture means writings. The book of the covenant is the Torah and the prophets. The book of the covenant is the law that Yahuwah gave. Script is writings. Scribes, they wrote. All right. Romans 12 and 10. I want to start a little bit further up. All right. Verse 9. Let love be without dissimulation. Abhor that which is evil. Cleave to that which is good. Be kindly affection one to another with brotherly love, in honor, preferring one another. In other words, putting others above yourself. All right. Next, I want to go to 1 Thessalonians 4 and 9. I'm just going to read that one off my paper because I wrote it down. This is what the Apostle Sha'al said to the assembly at Thessalonica. He said, but as touching brotherly love, you don't need that I write to you. For you yourselves have been taught by Yahuwah to love one another. So he was saying, I don't even need to write this to you. Because Yahuwah has already told us and shown us clearly and taught us clearly that we're supposed to be loving one another. So I don't even need to repeat this. This is like this is basic stuff here. Loving each other is basic. There's nothing deep about this. Let's keep going. Next, we're going to go to Colossians 3. And we're going to start at 12. Put on, therefore, as the elect of Yahuwah, called out and beloved, bowels of mercies, kindness, humbleness of mind, meekness, long-suffering, forbearing one another, and forgiving one another, if any man have a quarrel against any, even as Hamashiach forgave you, so also do ye. All right. And I'm going to keep reading. And above all things, put on love, which is the bond of perfectness. And let the peace of Yahuwah rule in your hearts, to the which also ye are called in one body, and be thankful. Let the word of Hamashiach dwell in you richly in all wisdom, teaching and admonishing one another in psalms and hymns and spiritual songs, singing with favor in your heart to Yahuwah. And whatsoever ye do in word or deed, do it all in the name of Adonai Yahushua, giving thanks to Yahuwah the Father by him. And then it goes into women submitting yourselves and stuff like that. But I just wanted to go into that piece here. One more, and then we're just going to talk a little bit. Ephesians. I believe it's going to be Ephesians 4. I didn't have that one marked, so let me find it real quick. Ephesians 4. Ephesians, I think it's right before Colossians. Yes, it is. All right, Ephesians 4. What verse was it, though? Here it is. Listen to this. All right, be ye angry. We're at verse 26. Be ye angry and don't commit crime. Let not the sun go down upon your wrath, neither give place to Hashatan. Let him that stole steal no more, but rather let him labor, working with his hands, the thing which is good, that he may have to give to him that has need. Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to the use of edifying, that it may minister favor, grace unto the hearers. And grieve not the Ruach HaKodesh of Yahuwah, whereby ye are sealed unto the day of redemption. Listen to this. Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and evil speaking be put away from you with all malice, and be ye kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as Yahuwah, for Mashiach's sake, has forgiven you. All right. Those are some of the scriptures on brotherly love. Now we're just going to talk for a little while. I made some notes because I got some things that I want to say, and I wanted to make sure I didn't forget them. So, all right. So, I'm not going to say. We had a situation, all right, and some things happened, and we had a break, in our assembly, and we had some brothers that left. All right. Now I'm not going to go into details of that and everything that happened. I was very upset about it, still am, but I'm good. But things like this should bother us, because we're family. But this is what I want to share, all right, because I'm sharing this because these type situations are real situations. These are things that happen. These are things that we have to deal with. We have to deal with conflict among the family, among the brotherhood. And there's a way that things are supposed to be done. I'm just going to be real. And this is what I told my Akeem, all of them. We can't just handle things any kind of way and then go on acting like everything's good. If things aren't handled correctly, then we need to make that right. It bothers me when you know that things weren't handled right, and that things were handled in emotion, things were handled, they just weren't handled completely right. But then everybody want to talk about the YAHUAH, and everybody want to talk about it, everybody want to post scriptures, and everybody want to, just go on, like everything is good. I mean, I can't do that. I can't deal with that. That's the reason why I went in on Facebook the way I did, because maybe I was wrong, but I was just real. I'm like, I'm not going to be playing no games. I'm not going to be faking, and so, all right, I'm not going to make this video about that situation. I just wanted to explain that this video is coming on the heels of that situation, and me just being the way that I am. I think that we need to talk about brotherly love, and we need to talk about the way things are supposed to be handled and how conflict is supposed to be handled and resolved, and not pushing under the rug and then try to just keep on living like everything is gravy. All right, so. Abba, where do I start? All right, so let's just start right here. It's one thing to have Facebook friends. All right, it's one thing to have people on social media. It's one thing to have relationships, people, that are, it's not really a close relationship. It's not that you don't love people. I love the Facebook mishpaka. I love to meet every one of you. But there's a difference between that hit and miss relationship and a relationship that is ongoing, where you built with people over time. All right. So when you have a relationship with somebody that you built over time, it's one thing to, cut off people that you don't know. There may be some foolishness going on. You just don't feel like dealing with it. And you're like, this is social media, Facebook, whatever. We're not gonna go around this mountain. But when you're dealing with people that you are in relationship with, that you have built relationship with, there is a way that things are supposed to be handled. And when a relationship is severed, there should be things that have clearly taken place before a relationship is severed. All right. If we have a problem with each other, then what Yahuwah told us to do is that we're supposed to go to each other. All right. We're even supposed to go to each other if we think our brother has a problem with us. We're supposed to go and address that. So it's not about just waiting for someone to come to you, even if you think that someone has a problem with you, even if you think that your brother or your sister has a problem with you. We're supposed to take the initiative to go to them and say, hey, I'm not feeling right. I feel like something's not right. There's something going on. If I did something, I'm sorry. Let's talk about it. Let's talk. That's how we're supposed to be. On the flip side of that, if you have a problem with somebody, you're not supposed to be holding it and harboring it. You're supposed to go to that person and say, look, Akuti, this happened. You said this or you did this, and this really bothered me, and I can't get over this. So we need to talk about it. That's what we're supposed to be doing. We're not supposed to be letting things build up over time and then blow up into some big thing, and then all of a sudden we cutting folks off. That's not how we're supposed to handle business when it comes to relationships. All right, we have to, with all the other stuff that we be talking about, and all the stuff that we be going in on, and all the things that we are just so hard and heavy on, we got to get hard and heavy on how we're supposed to deal with each other. Because a lot of the stuff that goes on is not pleasing to Yahuwah, but then we try to go on acting like he's pleased. But he's not. He's not. He's not pleased. That's number one. The whole issue is that we are building a relationship. When we're building a relationship, we have to understand that we have different personalities. We talked about this, me and the brothers, the other day. We're talking about this. We have different personalities. Every little thing that you do shouldn't tick me off. Even if some things you do bother me, I shouldn't have to come to you and talk to you about every little thing. We're not babies. All right? We're not little girls. You know what I'm saying? We're grown men. And just to be fair and balanced, I said we're not little boys. You know, we're grown men. Akuti, y'all are grown women. Every little thing shouldn't bother us. What we should be doing is we should be getting to know each other. And as we get to know each other, we know how each other operates. With the Akeem that I'm connected with now, I know each one of their personalities. I know my Nabi Yahu is a quiet guy. Now he's not no pushover and no punk, but he's quiet. He's not going to talk a whole lot. But when he talks, you listen. Shai and myself are both talkers. My Zamir, he's in the middle. He's not as quiet as Nabi, but he's not as open and vocal as me and Yashai. So he's kind of in the middle. So we have to learn each other's personalities and we have to learn each other, because that's what brotherhood means. We're not just on Facebook, and we're not just meeting on the Shabbat, and we're not just, just getting together just to get together. We're building a relationship. So that means we're getting to know each other. All right. So we were talking the other night. It was like, when we know each other, there's some things that you can just let go because we know each other's personality. But when there's something that is really bothering us that we can't get over, that is causing us to feel some type of way about each other, we need to talk. We can't let that go. If it's something that serious, we got to get that out and talk to each other and work through it so that stuff's not building up over time. And then we come up and all of a sudden we having a conversation. It might get into an argument, and now we're talking about stuff that happened 10 years ago because we never dealt with it. So it never went away. But now this big blow up happens, and we bringing up stuff from 5 freaking years ago. And then we like, well, how come you didn't tell me that 5 years ago if that bothered you? If it bothered you that bad where you still got it today, why didn't you tell me when it happened? Or why didn't you tell me a week after it happened if you needed some time to calm down? Why didn't you tell me a couple of months after it happened? Why didn't you tell me a year after it happened? Why are we 5 years later and now we talking and this is coming up? See, that's the kind of stuff that's not pleasing to Yahuwah. But we want to go on acting like everything's good. So I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that with nobody. If we can't get brotherly love right, we don't need to be talking about nothing else. We don't need to be rebuking nobody. We don't need to be trying to teach nobody. If we can't get brotherly love right. Because what are we going to be bringing people into? We're talking about this covenant. What are we bringing them into if we're bringing them into a mess where we can't even get along? We can't even work through issues. We can't even work through conflict, which is normal being a human being. There's going to be conflict. So if we can't even work through that, why are we trying to bring anybody into that? Why are we trying to bring anybody into something like that? And we can't work through issues. So we got to get the basic stuff right. And loving each other is basic. It's not deep. All right. So first off, we got to understand that we're building a relationship. We're learning each other. It's just like a marriage. We just read in Amos where it's a covenant, where Yahuwah judged Tyrus for breaking the brotherly covenant. Covenant, just like a marriage covenant. Except for it's not with a man and a woman, it's among brothers and sisters. Still a covenant. So we're getting to learn each other and know each other. Then when conflict comes up, we have to be man enough and woman enough to deal with it and say, hey, we got an issue, let's talk about it. All right, so I'm going to go to some of my notes because, like I said, I'm not trying to be all out there and make this video long. I just want to say what needs to be said and then be done with it. If I need to do a part 2 later, I'll do that. All right. Okay, I got some bullet points here, and I want to address them. All right. The first thing is I want to just talk about repentance. All right. If our brother or sister wrongs us and they repent, and we're supposed to forgive them. We're not supposed to play forgive them. We're not supposed to play forgive them. I'm going to say it again. We're not supposed to play forgive them. We're supposed to forgive them. If repentance is there and the fruit of repentance is showing, we're supposed to forgive. Period. What about us? Did Yahuwah cast us off because of our wickedness? Or did we come, or did he receive us when we came to him in repentance and turned away from what we did? All right, so we have to stop playing games. You know, if we're holding stuff, I understand. I'm not saying I'm gonna cut you off for holding stuff, but I'm saying you need to check yourself. I need to check myself. And if we're holding stuff, then we need to deal with that with Yahuwah. And then we need to even be honest and go to our brother or sister and say, you know what? I really haven't got over this yet. I'm sorry. I know I'm supposed to be able to get over this, but I'm still having a problem with it. I love you. I want to walk with you, but this is something in me that I'm still dealing with. We got to be real. Some things hurt more than others. Some offenses hurt more than others. All of us are built differently. Some people you can hit them and they're good. Some people you hit them, it's gonna take them a while to get over it. You know, everybody handles things differently. You know, but we have to be honest. You know, I was talking to a brother last night who we had to have a conversation because, and I'm not gonna call his name, but we had to kind of have a conversation because I had to address him because of some things that I saw. And I told him on the phone that we just have to be real with each other. I said, I need to know what you believe and what your walk is, and you need to know what mine is, so that we can make a decision. Can we walk together? Because there is no walking with light and darkness can't mix. So if we're not both in light, we can't play with it. And I told him, I said, I'm at the point in my life right now where I can't play with it. I love you. I told him I love you. I said, but if what we're doing is not matching what Yahuwah says, then we just cut it. We could just say that this relationship is cut and we just separate and we'll call it that. But what we're used to doing is playing around with people because we don't want to just say what needs to be said. So we play and we drag things on. And then we have this big blow up at the end instead of just being real with what needs to be said up front. All right, so that's what I'm trying to learn to do. And I know I take a lot of flack for it. I know a lot of people, I know sometimes I may even be wrong in how I handle things. And I'm letting Yahuwah help me and deal with me. But one thing I do know that I'm right with is not playing games, because I played games my whole life. I was passive basically my whole life up until I came into this truth. I was passive. All my Christian life I was passive. For real. And the little times that and quite frankly, I really wasn't passive. I had to force myself to be passive because I felt like I had to. Because I could remember even in the Christian church where I was usually one saying things that was kind of ruffling feathers. But I wasn't the way I am now. You know, I was still, you know, maybe I don't need to cross that line. Maybe I don't need to say that. You know what I'm saying? But now, this stuff we can't play with. You know, either we can walk together or we can't. You know, we have to be real and we have to be open. All right, so when someone repents, we're supposed to forgive them. And I understand that things happen that are really hard to deal with. And I'm not saying that repentance always means that we have to walk together. I'm not saying that always means that. But I am saying that if we say that we have truly forgiven, then we can't say that and then say that we're going to part ways in peace. And then all this stuff is coming up and it's clear evidence that there is no peace, that we still going at each other. That's a lie. That's lies. And Yahuwah is not pleased with that. That's lies. If we part ways and we say we part in peace, then there should be peace. If there's not peace, that means we didn't handle what we needed to handle, and we need to go back and get in each other's face and truly handle it. And guess what? If we did that and truly handled it, we actually might be able to reconcile. Sometimes we can't reconcile because we're not real. That's where some separation comes from. It comes from people not being real. If you really say what is on your mind and say what you meant and check that brother or that sister like you really want to and how it needs to be done, then you might be able to open up some doors for some true forgiveness and healing to come. But as long as we keep playing with stuff, healing's not going to come, because you can't heal in lying. You can't heal in masking. You can only heal in being real and being open and saying the things that need to be said. Let the chips fall where they may, but at least be honest, because honesty opens the door for reconciliation. All right. Let me deal with this. All right. Like I said, I just made notes, so I'm just going on notes here. I'm trying to be a little careful because I don't want to just say stuff that don't need to be said. I'm not trying to call nobody out either. So I'm just using examples, but I'm not going to call no names. But these are some things that I feel like are just not right, and not how we handle some things. All right. If you and your brother or your sister have a disagreement, a falling out, whatever it may be, and that is based on certain things that were said, certain things that were communicated between you both, between you two, communicated those things. If you get information outside of you two and you change your mind, or it affects your feeling about your brother or your sister, you are wrong if you don't go back to them and bring them what changed your mind. Because now what you're doing is you're saying, okay, I'm taking this outside information, and just what you're doing is you're just assuming that it's true and that it's right. You don't even know. You're just assuming that it's right. But you have not gone back to your brother or your sister and took that to them and put that in their face and said, look at this right here, though. Please talk to me about this and tell me, is this what I'm really seeing, or am I misunderstanding? And then you talk and you get understanding. See, this is the problem that I have with the way that we handle stuff a lot. And it's we're too quick. We're too quick to cut things off and say it's the Ruach doing it. We're too quick. I'm telling you right now, this is your Dre, this is your Sha'al talking to you. I am going to be in a way now where if you aren't real, you are not going to like me. You are not going to be able to walk with me, because I am not doing this. I'm not doing this. I'm 45 years old now. I had what they call my birthday, which, hey, I recognize, the years that go by, because they counted years in the scriptures. I just don't celebrate my birthday. I'm not putting myself out there on the pedestal. Hey, happy birthday to me. No. But I do recognize that I am a year older. I'm 45. All right. I'm too old for this. I'm too old for these games, man. I'm not saying that I walk in perfection, but I want to grow, and I want to be around people that want to grow. And the first thing is I have to be around people that could at least be real. I got brothers right now that will get in my face. I'm going to show you. I'm going to give you an example of something that just happened last week, where a brother got in my face. I need that, because we can't truly be brothers, and we can't truly build a relationship if we're not being real with each other. I got brothers in my life right now that I wouldn't trade for nothing, because I know each one of these brothers will come to me and will say, hey, something ain't right. What you did right there wasn't right. What you said, that wasn't right. The way you're operating, that's not right. I know I have brothers that would do that, because they've done it. We fought. They brought me stuff to me, and I told them it was bogus. I said that's bogus. That's not even right. And then they brought stuff to me where I said, you know what, you're right. I need to change. I need to fix that. So if we can't be real, then we can't get nowhere. If we can't be real, we can't get nowhere. All right. So if me and my have an issue, and it's so bad where it causes us a separation or whatever, if I go get information from somebody else, and it sways my mindset toward what I thought, to what he said, or to what I believed, or now I'm thinking he's a liar and all kind of stuff like that, and I'm even going as far as vocalizing it a lot of times, and I don't go back to him with that information, I'm wrong. If you're not willing to talk, you're wrong. If you want to talk on social media, or you want to talk to other people, but you don't want to talk to that person, you're wrong. And Yahuwah not backing you up. That's whether it's you, that's whether it's me, that's whether it's anybody. Yeah, that's wrong. If somebody tells me something, I need to go to my brother and say, okay, this right here is bothering me, because I felt like you left this out, or you didn't tell me something. You don't just believe stuff just because somebody else told you. You don't want to believe what your Ak told you or your Akuti told you. So why are you just going to just believe what somebody else tells you? If we have a relationship, we should do everything in our power possible to make sure that we can keep that unity in that relationship. We should have exhausted all avenues to save the relationship before we just call it quits. That's bogus. That is not walking in brotherly love. And I ain't playing with that. All right. I hit that point. If you're not willing to talk stuff out, I'm going to share with you this, because I said I was going to share some examples. So I'm going to share this one right here. And like I said, you know, if I make people mad, you know, it is what it is. I'm sorry, but I'm going to try to be careful what I say. But my YAHUAH Shai called me out. I think it was last Shabbat. No, it was after Shabbat. We were having a meeting. We were having a meeting about, you know, some of the things we were going to be doing, you know, as an assembly, and how we were trying to pursue some things. And so he called me out because, like I told you guys, you know, we had something that went down in the assembly, and we had, you know, some people left, some brothers left. All right, and I really felt strong that I wanted to meet, you know, with them and with some other people, that some things had happened, because it was all kind of tied in. I'm like, I just need to have some things settled, which I felt were not settled. You know what I'm saying? So I called, you know, for a meeting, and I sent out a message, and I said in the message that anyone that refused to meet, I was going to block them. The reason being is because if you are not willing to engage your brother who is reaching out to you to talk about things, even if you don't feel it's legitimate, if your brother is in his heart and sincerely coming to you to try to work things out, and you don't want to talk about it, then there's nothing else to talk about. There's nothing else. There's nowhere else to go from there. And that's what I said in that message. Well, I had a couple of people that didn't want. I had one that didn't even respond at all, and I had another one that responded and, you know, didn't want to meet, you know, and gave me all, you know, a long list and stuff of a long spill, and then left. All right, my YAHUAH Shai called me on that, because he said you didn't do what you said you were going to do, because you said that whoever was unwilling to meet, you were going to block him, and you hadn't blocked him. That's what my YAHUAH told me. You know what I told him? I said, you're right. I want to talk about this for a minute. Let me say that one more time. He told me that you did not do what you said you were going to do. And you know what I told him? YAHUAH, you're right. Now let's talk about that for a minute. Why are we trying to argue with people when we know we're wrong? Why are we trying to argue with people when we know that they're right and we're wrong? I could have went into all kind of babbling and making excuses, but the bottom line was that he was right. I didn't do what I said I was going to do. I didn't do it. So what I told him was, you know what, YAHUAH, you're right. I did not do what I said I was going to do. Now, I had my reasons for not doing it, but it still don't change the fact that I did not do what I said I was going to do. No one made me say that. That's what I said I was going to do, and I didn't do it. All right. What my whole point in that is, we got to stop arguing with people when they're right. Stop arguing with people when we know that we're wrong. At what point are we just going to say, you know what, I'm wrong. I was wrong. I'm sorry. I apologize. Whatever the situation is, at what point are we just going to say, you know what, I was wrong. I'm sorry. I'm not going to give you no excuses. I'm not going to try to deflect it. I'm not going to try to put something on you to keep from talking about me. I'm just going to tell you I was wrong, because I was. At what point are we going to be grown-ups and just do that? That was the only point I wanted to make with that. All right. We're talking about brotherly love here, y'all. We're talking about how to deal with conflict in a way that's pleasing to YAHUAH. You know. All right, so let me go with this right here. There should not be any separation of a relationship without everything that needs to be said being said. And y'all excuse the traffic and everything I'm by, because I'm outside and I really love it out here. I love the outdoors, so I just wanted to come out here and do the video. All right, so there should be no separation in any relationship without everything that needs to be said being said. And I'm just going to be for real with you. All right, like I said, I'm not saying no names or anything. But that was one of the issues that really bothered me the most about, you know, what happened, you know, with some of my family. I'm confident. I don't care what nobody tells me, because people tell you all kind of stuff. But I'm confident that everything that needed to be said was not said. So there should be no separation. There should be no separation and no severing of a relationship if everything that needs to be said has not been said. And you know everything that needs to be said has not been said if you're still talking. But you're not talking to that person. If you still talking to other people, or you still saying things, because people aren't dumb. People know when you're talking about them or not. We're not dumb. People are not dumb. We know when there's still something there, there's an issue. Remember, we have the ruach. We have the ruach. We have discernment. And we also have to remember that we know each other. I'm not talking about just, my family. I'm talking about all of us as people. We have to understand, when you've had a relationship with somebody for a period of time, you know them. So they can tell you all day long that something ain't wrong, but you know something wrong. Because you know the person. You establish a relationship with each other. So you know. So we have to stop lying. And we just have to be real. There should be no severing of any relationship if everything that needs to be said has not been said. If I have a problem with my brother and I'm telling somebody else stuff that I have not told him, I'm wrong, period. If I have a problem with my brother and I still have stuff that I feel or that is bothering me or whatever, I'm saying I'm over it, fine. I don't care what people say. We know we got discernment. So if stuff is still bothering me, if I'm telling somebody else, then that means it's there. So if I'm expressing something to someone else that I have not expressed to my brother or my sister, I am wrong if the relationship is severed and I don't handle that. I don't even care if the relationship is still severed. You should still talk and make sure that everything that needs to be said gets said. And if after all that you still can't walk together, fine. But if you do not do that, you are wrong. You're wrong. Y'all have to excuse me because this right here is close to me, because we talk about all kind of stuff, posting all kind of scriptures, all this, all that. If we can't even get brotherly love right, we need to shut up. If we can't even handle conflict with each other, we need to shut up. We don't need to be teaching nobody. We don't need to be rebuking nobody if we can't even get conflict with the brotherhood right. If we can't even deal with that like men, we don't need to be saying nothing to nobody. Because what are we bringing people into? What are we bringing people into? We want to talk about all this idolatry and all this paganism. We want to talk about how we're supposed to keep the Shabbat and how we're supposed to keep the feast. But if we can't even keep brotherly love, what are we bringing people into? We're bringing people into a mess. Brotherly love is the foundation. The whole Torah is built on love. Love Yahuwah and love your brother, your neighbor. That's the whole Torah. So if we can't get that, I'm sorry, my Nabi Yahu is trying to call me. He doesn't know I'm on this video. I don't want to answer it because if I do, I'm afraid to lose the video. So I'll get back with him later. Okay, all right, I'm sorry. But my whole point is, this is all I'm saying. I'm not saying that somebody's right and somebody's wrong. I'm not saying that this other person is right and the other person is wrong. What I'm saying is, before a relationship is severed, everything should be left on the table. Because when you sever a relationship, you are now depleting a brotherly covenant. We don't take this thing seriously. So because we don't take it seriously, I'm going to go back to Amos real quick. And we're going to read Amos 1 and 9 again. Amos 1 and 9. Listen to this, please. Thus saith Yahuwah, for 3 transgressions of Tyrus, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because they delivered up the whole captivity to Edom, and remembered not the brotherly covenant. One more time. Thus saith Yahuwah, for 3 transgressions of Tyrus, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because they delivered up the whole captivity to Edom, and remembered not the brotherly covenant. He punished them because they broke a brotherly covenant. It wasn't the Shabbat. It wasn't no feast. It wasn't no idolatry. He punished them because they broke the covenant of brotherhood that they made, and they turned on him. He punished them for that, because they remembered not the brotherly covenant. Yahuwah takes this brotherhood seriously, more seriously than we do. Obviously. All right. Let's keep going. So that was a big one for me. That was a huge one for me. No relationship should be severed if everything has not been left on the table. Shouldn't be severed. So I want to encourage everybody on this video. If you have a severed relationship with somebody and you know that you got stuff holding that you did not tell them, that you did not give them an opportunity to answer and an opportunity to make right, anybody on the video, no matter who it is, no matter what the situation, take it to Yahuwah, but just consider these things. You know, consider these things. Some things we just have not talked about everything. And we're cutting off relationships too quick. And we're letting outside information come in, and we're not even bringing it back to our brother or our sister to give them an opportunity to answer to it. That's not right. It's not right. Okay, I want to address this. If you have a relationship with somebody, I'm just going to be real. If you delete and you block them over stuff that you think they said or you think was about them, that's wrong. If I hear something and I believe that my brother or my sister is talking about me, I should not just delete them and block them. I should go to them and say, hey, I saw what you said. I saw what you posted. Is that about me? If it is, let's talk about it. Because what you're doing is when you block somebody or you delete somebody over your assumption, that's not righteousness. I'm sorry. I mean, we can talk, we can try to twist stuff all we want to. But what I'm going to do on this video is just be real. And everything I'm saying applies to me, just like it applies to everybody else. If we cannot delete and block people off of assumptions, we should not block or delete anybody that we have not spoken to about why we're doing it. Now, I'm not talking about people that we're in a relationship with. I know I blocked some people that I don't know because it's like it was just social media. They were just on my page being disruptive, so I blocked them. I don't count that. I'm talking about people that we're in a relationship with, that we know. All right. We shouldn't be blocking and deleting anybody that we're in a relationship with over an assumption. We should be talking because that's what grown people do. We don't hide behind our feelings and our emotions. We talk. Ah, okay, I see this right here. I mean, I'm not dumb. I mean, I think he's talking about me. All right, let me pick up the phone. Yo, what's this all about? Is this about me? If so, you know, if you got something to say, let's talk about it. Don't put it on social media. Is this about me? And then give him the opportunity to answer. I had an aunt that did me that yesterday. I put a post on Facebook. He thought it was about him. He messaged me. I messaged him back, then I called him. And I let him know. I said, it's not about you. I told him, I said, look, you know me. We're talking right now. If it was about you, I would have told you. It wasn't about you. And he was like, okay. And we went on and talked about some things we need to talk about. But he did what he was supposed to do. Instead of just cutting me off over that post, he messaged me and said, is this about me? Matter of fact, he didn't ask me if it was about me. He accused me. All right. And my initial response to him was gangster. And I had to go back and change it because I sensed the Ruach saying that a soft word turns away wrath. And I sensed the Ruach saying that, you know, don't escalate it. He just, that was the way he felt at the time based on some things that were happening and what he saw. That's how he felt. So don't read more into it than it is and don't go off and start getting into a battle with him. Just calmly explain. So I did. And it worked out the way it should. Because if I had put what I initially wrote, I didn't send it. But if I put what I initially wrote, we would have been in the fight. Because I went in for him accusing me. But instead, I took that off and I said, okay, let me just be calm and talk to him. And I explained to him that it wasn't about him. And I, and showed him, who, I didn't tell him who it was about, but I explained to him the situation that made me do that post. All right. So we settled that. But that's my point. Let's not make assumptions. If you think somebody talking about you, ask them. Ask them. That's what grown people do. Look, I'm not trying to sit here and make anybody think that I got all this right. But I will say this. The people that are in my circle that know me know that even if I'm right or wrong, I do my best to just be real. People in my circle know that. I'm not saying I have it perfected, but they know that the stuff that I'm talking about, I do my best to walk in it. I do my best to walk in it because I'm just at the point in my life where I can't play games no more. I just can't. It's a waste of time. So I try to be as real as I can. Me and my Akeem, we fight. We go in on each other. That's how I know what we have as a relationship is real. Because we go in on each other. It's not one of those everything you say is right, agree with everything you say. No, we go in on each other. We check each other to the face. To the face. Not to the Facebook. To the face. To the face. You know, and I won't have it any other way. I would not have it any other way. All right, let me see if I got any more notes before I close this thing out. Okay, I do want to give some examples now, and then I'm going to close this video out. I told you I was going to give you some examples. All right. So I did post about one of these. I'm just going to reiterate it real quick. Feast of Tabernacles this year, which was just passed. Me and my Akishai got into a big fight. It was so bad that his wife cried. She was crying. One of the other Akeem left. He left the feast because me and him were going at it so bad. And it wasn't, we were talking about when does the day start, but the argument we were having, what happened, it wasn't about the day starting. It wasn't about that. It was about something that, it was about some things that were, it was about the way we were going about the conversation. It wasn't about the content of the conversation. It was about the way we were going about it. And it just sparked and it blew up. And then it got bad. All right. So anyway, that was that night before we went to bed. That night, we settled it. Take these glasses off because I'm not reading no more, so I don't need them. Before we went to bed that night, we settled it. We messaged our Ak that left, called him, messaged him, told him, you know, that we were sorry, you know, about how everything went down, that we have settled this together and we're good. And he came back the next day. All right, that's just one example. I want to give you another example. Just this past Shabbat, well, it was after the Shabbat, but this past meeting, I rebuked 3 of my Akeem to their face. All right, because with the situation that had happened in our assembly with some of the brothers leaving and everything, I told them that I didn't feel like they did enough to keep that relationship together. I rebuked all 3 of them to their face. But guess what? I had to go back in that same setting and apologize to them because then they explained what they had done, which I didn't know they did. You know what I'm saying? So we have to understand that everybody's different. See, I'm a vocal guy. And all the time, that's not good. That could be good and could be bad. But the point is that I have to understand that I'm me and everybody else ain't like me. You're you and everybody else may not be like you. We are individuals. So I made a judgment too quick. Because I didn't feel like I was seeing the effort from my brothers to make this right. I felt like I was the only one that really cared. And I didn't feel like I saw effort from them. So I told them to their face that I felt like y'all didn't do enough. You know what I'm saying? Then when they explained and started sharing with me some of the things that they did do that I didn't know they did, then I had to go back and immediately apologize because I spoke too soon. This is the type of stuff I'm talking about. If you're wrong, you're wrong. If you're wrong, you're not right. This stuff is elementary. It's basic. If you're wrong, you're not right. Apologize. Say you're sorry. Mean it. And then work on yourself. So because of that, it had me looking inward and really checking myself, making sure that I'm not so quick to speak next time, but to make sure I get information before I open my mouth. So it's not just about an apology. It's about we're supposed to be learning each other and learning ourselves and then growing and changing and developing into this beautiful masterpiece that Yahuwah wants us to be. But we can't do that if we run away from conflict. Because conflict is what's going to help us build ourselves and build each other. Conflict is just part of life. It's going to happen. You know, we can't run away from it. So I wanted to give that example. You know, that was an example where I was wrong. So I had to say I'm sorry. I can tell you many, many times that and I'm going to go ahead and say this on this video, because I've had a couple of people that have, a couple of people that have accused, because see, my YAHUAH Shai is the main teacher. All right, he is the teacher. He has a gift from Yahuwah, and he has a gift and an impartation from Yahuwah to do what he does that I don't have, and the other Akeem don't have. See, when you're brothers and your family, you recognize each other's gifts and you don't get jealous. There's no room for jealousy. Yahuwah calls who he will. He called Masha. And guess what happened when old Korah and them other folks with him started rising up trying to equate themselves to Masha? Yahuwah said that Masha ain't like y'all. I speak to him face to face. That's what Yahuwah told him. He said, while you up here running your mouth, you only realize you about to die. My point is that we have to understand that Yahuwah has given each one of us a gift and a talent. No one's more important than another, but our gifts and our function are different, and we have to respect and honor each other. I honor Yeshai because Yahuwah has imparted into him what I call and see as leadership. Don't mean that he's perfect all the time. It doesn't mean that he don't have to be checked like everybody else. But Yahuwah has given him a certain gift and a talent. And if we're wrong if we don't recognize that. If you don't recognize Yahuwah's gifting in me, you're wrong. If I don't recognize his gifting in you, you're wrong. If we don't come together recognizing each other's giftings and making it work together for the benefit and for the uplifting of Yahuwah and his kingdom, then we're all wrong. Ain't no room for no jealousy. So I want to address this, because I've heard this from several people. Well, at least 2, 3 people that think that in our assembly that Yeshai is some guru cult leader and that we're his puppets. So I'm going to go ahead and address you clowns. And yeah, I'm saying it, clowns. I'm going to go ahead and address you clowns right now. You do not have any idea the conversations that we have in our back rooms. You have no clue how we fight and go at it and rebuke each other and check each other and call each other out to the face. You have no clue. There is no puppeteering going on amongst our brotherhood. We are all brothers. My Shai, we were just talking the other day. And he told us, you know what, you got people out here that actually think that. And they don't even understand that all y'all brothers are strong-willed. We strong-willed, and we always go at each other and make sure that we're checking each other for righteousness. And I can't make none of y'all do nothing. That's what he told us. And we were just talking, and we're like, yeah, we understand, because that's, you know, a lot of times it just comes from people that are mad, bitter, and jealous or whatever. And so they just got to have something to say, because there's no validity to it at all. All right, so I just want to go ahead and put that out there right now. You got a lot of folk don't understand the conversations we have. I can show you a conversation that me and my Shai had, where if you saw that conversation, and this was a recent conversation where we got into an argument. If you saw that conversation without knowing us, you would believe up and down that we were bitter enemies because of how blunt we talk to each other. How blunt we talk to each other. I told him he needed to check himself. He told me that I'm trying to think of how he worded it. He was like, I can't remember exactly how he worded it. I have to go back and read it. Sometimes I just read it just to laugh, because I'm like, man, we be going in on each other. But anyway, we were going back and forth, speaking what we truly believe needed to be said. And guess what? At the end of the conversation, when it was all said and done, nothing but love. Ak, you know I love you. You know I love you too. Brotherly covenant. All right. So I just want to go ahead and clear that up too. We got clowns out here to think that they know something, and a lot of it's just people trying to steer strife. But sometimes you steer strife with the wrong people, because what people are used to doing is steering strife with people that won't speak up. But you're gonna steer strife with the wrong person, they're gonna check you. So any clowns out there that want to talk, you know, say something like that to my face so I can address you, because there is no puppeteering going on in our assembly. If you saw the conversations that we have with each other and the way we go in on each other and the way we check each other, even just recently, that foolishness won't come out your mouth. All right? We hold each other accountable. All of us. No one's exempt from accountability. All right. So, I want to wrap this up and just say that me, going forward, you know, if you're not real, you're not going to like me. You're not going to be able to walk with me if you're not real, because I'm not saying I'm going to cut you off. You're going to cut me off, because I'm not playing with people. You know, I'm not playing with people. We have a brotherly covenant. And when we build a relationship and we allow relationships to sever without doing things that are proper, then it needs to be addressed, period. And, you know, it just is what it is. We have to love each other. We have to walk in love to each other. We have to forgive each other. We have to not hold grudges. We have to say what's on our mind. Take your brother and take him aside. Akudi, take your sister and take her aside. If it's bothering you that bad, get in her face and let her know. If it's bothering us that bad, we need to be talking. Instead of talking to everyone else, we need to be talking to the person that we have a problem with. I love y'all. I love y'all deeply. I pray that I didn't say anything, you know, that was wrong. And if I did, you know, I sincerely apologize. Anybody got an issue with anything I said, you know, holler at me. And I got no problem apologizing. Let me close the video with this. We should always have repentance and an apology in our pocket, ready to give when it's needed, when it's necessary, when it's warranted. You know what I'm saying? If we do wrong, we should be willing to repent. We should be willing to face it and say, you know what, I was wrong. I was wrong. And I want to make it right. You know, that's my whole thing. That's my whole thing. You know, that's my whole thing. I just do not believe in severing relationships without. It's a covenant. It's a covenant. I just don't believe in severing relationships without doing everything that we can do to save it. Because my thing is that a lot of times the relationships that we sever, they should not have been severed. They were severed because we were walking in the flesh. And we didn't do what we're supposed to do as covenant brothers and sisters to work things out. So that's my problem. I mean, if a relationship has to be severed, then I understand that. Sometimes they have to be severed. But my problem is if they're being severed and we have not done what we're supposed to do to make sure we try to work things out and get things right. And at least have full communication and talk. I'm telling you right now, if I have a relationship with you, I am not going to cut you off without being in your face and telling you exactly why I'm not walking with you no more. If I don't walk with you, you're going to hear from me face to face why. Ain't going to be no disappearing acts. Ain't going to be no we just done. I'm going to talk to you and I'm going to tell you why. And in talking to you and telling you why, maybe we can work things out. Maybe we can't. But at least I will have gotten everything out of me for you to be able to have it and hold it. And I pray that you would do the same with me, where I can have it and hold it. And then maybe we can, if we can get out of our flesh and I can put myself in your shoes and you can put yourself in my shoes, maybe we can work it out if we gave complete honesty and gave each other a chance to work it out. But when we are not honest and when we play games and we hold stuff and we don't want to talk and we trying to play all these games, there's no way that we can do that. Because you can only do that when you have honesty. If we have honesty with each other, even if it's something that we don't want to hear, at least we know it. I know how my brother feels. I know how my sister feels. I can check myself and see if they're right. Are they valid in how they feel about what I did or what I said or how I am as a person? Are they valid? If they're valid, then I should change. I should say, I'm sorry for that. I should say, you're right. I can see myself. I didn't see it before, but I see it now. This is something I need to work on. If we do that with each other, it gives us an opportunity to grow as people, and then we can save relationships. But if we don't do that and we want to clam up and close up and just cut each other off, then we can't. Well, there's no way we can do that. And that's not righteousness. That's wickedness. So that's all I'm saying. Let's get it all out on the table before we call it quits. Let's get it all out before we call it quits. I did that in my divorce. That's one thing that me and my ex-wife did. We got it all out. We talked about it. And at the end of the day, we couldn't walk together. But we did not get a divorce right away. We spent a long time suffering, trying to make things work, counseling, all kind of stuff. We didn't just give up right away. We should be doing the same thing in our brother and sister relationships. We should not just be giving stuff up right away. All right. I love you guys deeply. I'm going to get off this video. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. I'm just going to chill out and relax, and then I'm going to try to get back in the studio a little bit later and try to finish up that song. And prayerfully, when I get, I got to go, prayerfully this Shabbat, or this after Shabbat, maybe this weekend, I'm going to come back and I'm going to do session 2 on that recording, the song from scratch that I was doing with you guys. I want to do it from start to finish. I'm going to try to do session 2. I'm close. I feel like I'm really close to having those, what I recorded the first time memorized, so I could do it without the paper. But I kind of wanted to finish it all up first. So I'm just going to play it by ear. But I may come back this weekend and do session 2. If not, then maybe the next week I'll do it. But I am going to keep it going until we get the song finished. All right. So you guys have a wonderful day. To everyone that joined the video, I just want to say shalom, shalom, much love. Thanks for joining. And you guys, I love you. I love you deeply. Have a great day. Shalom.